Hi guys, it is me coming to you actually with a channeled message that I got through my meditation tonight. It's going to be a little bit about the vortex we're all going through, ascension symptoms that many of you may be been going through so that you understand it a little bit better and what we have coming up. If you're not used to a channeled message, it's a message that literally comes through meditation or some other kind of, it doesn't come through tarot, it doesn't come through astrology. It's a different kind of message. It's something that you don't have to think about or ponder about. If the message is for you, there will be some kind of truth that sparks in your heart like a knowing. That's how the channeled collective messages come through. So just to let you know. And if you are going through ascension, you can know if you're getting channeled messages. For me personally, I actually will start to feel my heartbeat on my crown on the top of my head. So that's just me personally. Or it will start to feel tingly there. That's how I know that is what's coming in. Now, I felt something coming in the last couple weeks just because for me personally, before I'm going to get another message like that, I'll have a lot of kind of turmoil in my life. I'll have a lot of kind of shock and awe, and then I will personally get to the point where I'm just like, I don't know, guys, I don't know what to do. Here you go. And that's usually how it happens for me. The message that I got for the collective, for all of you guys, is that we've all been going through a vortex. There's like a mass ascension going on. So some of you that, of course, would be directed to listen to this specific message may be rather new to this. May not be used to having this sort of thing go on. So let me describe what's been going on for those of you that are kind of getting called to an upgrade. You would have been going through a lot of emotional turmoil, a lot of deep emotions for the past month, heavily the past month. Your situations would not just involve you, it would involve you, a person, and another person. So it'd be like, for some reason, it's coming in groups of 3 with this situation. So there'd be a lot of struggle, a lot of emotional turmoil, emotional changes in situations where you have groups of 3. So you, a person, and another person, or you, a situation, and another situation. And you would have had to make a decision about that. Most likely by now you would have received some clarity about that, which is kind of astrology. I do know that's going on in astrology. I didn't know it had anything to do with the kind of ascension vortex. But my understanding is either you have made the decision to cut off certain situations or relationships, commit to certain situations and relationships, or certain situations or relationships have changed in these groups of 3. So that's kind of how you know you're personally being called into this kind of upgrade vortex. And it's been hard. Even for me, it's been hard. Now, in the last week, if you are in this ascension process, which means you are essentially an empath, that you feel other people's emotions, you've been feeling things and you might not even be able to understand why you're feeling things. Now, I've had situations in the last week, but usually my own situations I'm able to clear. Like, I'm able to do the clearing work. I'm able to clear my own kind of energy field. Like, I'm really good at doing that because I know that's what keeps me personally healthy. But in the last week, I've had a lot of blockages in my heart chakra and my throat chakra. And it wasn't until, like, I literally noticed the different spots in my body would literally feel discomfort if I was thinking about different individuals in my life. The empaths have been picking up other people's emotions heavily. If you've been watching the news, if you've been on social media, you've been picking up the emotions probably from every single person that's been posting. So just a heads up, it's been like, I call in like Archangel Metatron and Archangel Michael to protect my energy, and that has been less than perfect even for me in the last week. So it's just been like we didn't have any suit of armor, so we've been literally feeling everybody's emotions wherever we go. So if you were feeling things or having deep emotions or deep sadness or even deep mourning, and for reasons you don't even understand, that's, welcome to the life of an empath. So that's kind of what we go through, but we go through that heavily before we get an upgrade, before you're going to get another gift, before you're going to be put on a journey of like either healing work that you're starting, which usually means like you're at the point where you're just like, it's all too much and you're giving up, like in your mind, you're giving it up to the universe, which is actually a beautiful place to be, because when you're that distraught and you're just so exhausted from all of the emotional turmoil, it's super easy for your guides and your angels and your higher power, your higher self to come through and, start shining those lights of synchronicities, of signs in the areas where, they're saying you need to look. So we're going through a vortex. We're getting to the part now where we can actually take action on it. A lot of you maybe have been feeling like there's things in your life you just have to clear out. Like maybe it's your home, or maybe it's your health, or maybe it's just like your friend groups, or maybe it's, what you expose yourself to. But you're being called to do that. I thought just because it's Virgo season, and that's what Virgos kind of do, but it's more than that. It's that you're clearing these things out, because literally, if you're an empath and if you're ascended, if any of what I've explained to you rings true with what's going on in your life right now, I know when you get a gift, it is a responsibility, and you have to kind of keep yourself clear in order to receive the messages that you've been put here to receive at this time. Like, your soul literally agreed to incarnate right now because you have a job to do. Now, if you look, I don't do channeled messages all the time because I just get them, and that's when I have to put them out there. Earlier in the year, I did get some messages about like, this would be a year to shine your gifts. This would be a year to, share your gifts with the collective, and the time for that is now. So you guys have been getting gifts. You guys have been called to certain areas. You guys have been, interested in certain things, and those are no coincidences. Coincidences do not happen. Individuals have been brought into your life and out of your life, and those people are no coincidences. You may not still have clarity about where they fit, but if they're still around you, they fit somewhere. So just know that. So I did messages. You guys are going to be using your groups that are around you and the things that you've been called to, kind of been led to be interested in, as a part of your, soul's journey for right now, as a part of your healing yourself to heal the collective. Like, literally healing yourself to heal others is the message I got quite clearly. So you're most likely being called to change your diet. I know in order to receive messages, when I know I'm going to have a lot of messages to deliver to people, or readings that I have to give to people, I'll naturally, a couple weeks earlier, without even knowing all these people are coming in, like start eating super healthy, just without even thinking about it. I'll start I'll have all my rocks cleaned. I'll have there'll just be a purifying that goes through, not only my body, but my home and my speech. And, I'll be a lot more secular and in solitude, naturally, because I'll be drawn to spend more time like that. So if you guys have kind of cut yourself off, or found yourself in situations where you're cut off from the people around you, that's a thing too. So if you're not an introvert like me, that might be really, really hard. And I know it's really, really hard to be away from your loved ones, especially when there's no current guidelines stating that you really have to be. But if you're also in that situation, that's another sign that you're a part of this group that's going through this whole upgrade. So that's amazing. Literally, there's not going to be any facts I can tell you right now, because right now, everything that you're seeing outside of your own heart is very confusing, and you're not going to be able to get any, no one's going to be able to tell you how to do this, because literally your soul already knows how to do this. A lot of us are looking at past situations that pertain to our current situations and relationships now. I had amazing parents. Love you, Mom and Dad. But even I, this week, was called to look at certain patterns that I hadn't seen before, with my relationships with my parents, and how, those cycles are still manifesting. And once you're aware of things, it's just naturally going to change for you. A lot of us that are here, to be gifted in this way, have had really tough backstories, and those really tough backstories specifically put us in a place where we've been through all the shit, so we're able to serve people that are going through all the shit. Our pain journey is also what allows us to assist others with their pain journey. So, the most painful events of my life, I actually hold the most sacred, because those are places of understanding that I can give words to other people around. Those are places of knowing and empathy that I can give to other people in my life. And these won't be people around you as you're developing your gifts that you'll have to seek out. These will be people that will naturally just be attracted to you, because there's something in them that will need some sort of healing from you, or some sort of words, or some sort of gesture. You never know what it is, but don't try to overthink it. Believe me, that just gets you into trouble. Yeah, so just like when you're doing a reading, if you're a tarot reader, or if you're an astrologist, you kind of got to go in there cleared of intentions, really. Just kind of go in there with a blank mind. Once you develop your gifts, you don't really try too hard. It's actually, you just clear everything, and that's how the messages come through. It's hard to explain if you're not at that point yet, but if you are at that point, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of those situations. And I'm sure a lot of you will definitely know that, you're a deeply feeling person. You probably don't know that everybody's not like that, though. It's probably like just natural to you. So you do think that everybody picks up on those things, but they don't. So sometimes you may be misunderstood, or you can't understand why, people just don't naturally understand what you're feeling. But other people have different gifts, and they don't literally feel emotions in their body like you do if you're someone that's here to be an empath or a psychic or some kind of healer. It's a blessing and a curse sometimes, but more of a blessing when you're able to use it for other people. Okay, so we've been through all of these emotional energies. A lot of them pertain to, the number of 3 relationship, situationship, whatever changes. And as long as you can accept whatever came in, that's the key. Definitely feel your feelings that you have around these things. Acknowledge your feelings that you have around these things, but don't try and hold on to things that just so clearly are distracting your energy right now, or that you're putting too much energy into, because it will be painful. It will be more emotionally painful for you, and it will get to the point of emotional pain that you will have to let it go. And letting it go is, when everything becomes clear for you. So I can't tell you exactly when you'll have direct clarity. That's your own process. That's how it works. When you're ready to give up your struggles, stop thinking about them, stop overthinking about them, because nobody's getting any clarity that way right now. If if you're on this path, that's not how you get clarity. And I know that goes kind of against society's logic, but right now society's logic is really clouded over, specifically so people are forced to look inward and forced to kind of feel with their heart again, which a lot of people have not had to feel their way through life that way. We're not really brought up to feel through life that way. Masculines, you have your own kind of ascension going on, which I of course think is beautiful, which may be really hard for males, because males are going through all these emotions too, but we live in a society where many of the males that are going through this come from families that men should man up, men shouldn't have emotions, so it is an extra struggle on you. And I want to give words to that and just hold space for that, because that is like an ego struggle from the core of what the world expects you to believe you should be like. And I'm just going to say, having emotions isn't weak. Having emotions and expressing them is the strongest thing that a person can do, because that makes you vulnerable. And if you are, confident enough to be vulnerable, that's what people react to. That's what people can sense the truth in people. People can just instantly sense and empathize when something comes from your heart. So it may be terrifying and scary, but that's the path that you guys are on right now, and that's going to heal so many cycles of karma from your family lines. That's just a beautiful thing, and that's going to heal generations after you. So that's its own thing. Last year, in addition to the giving gifts, or in the beginning of this year, in addition to the, putting your gifts out into the world, I also talked about building community. Well, that community building is pretty much completing this month as well. You guys will know, and should have been called, or situations will be given or taken away from you by now, so that you know who will show up on your doorstep to fight a lion for you. Those are literally the people, and I'm not saying any lions showing up. I'm just saying that's the kind of community, that you've built now. You know who has your back and who, you can really depend on without, not without any kind of exchange. It's just natural in these situations. You should have, had people brought into your life, by now, or at least had words with people, or had, conversations with people that that there's a different kind of understanding than would take place before 2020. It's not a generic understanding. It's a deeper family type understanding where people are cheering you on and really have like your best your best hopes, dreams, and wishes at heart, and that they would go to bat for you. I just added a couple more people in my family this weekend. So that's, we're all doing that, and everybody's being put into the exact right puzzle pieces right now, even this late in the game. So that's a beautiful thing. If you've introduced new people into your life, or if you've reached out to people, if you've reached out to me and you happen to be listening to this message, like, welcome to the family. So the gifts building and the community building and the vortex we're going through is for right now. I did receive a message about how in the spring when I planted my garden, I just got this random message, you're going to be eating things at the end of the summer because, you need to eat things when they're there. And it wasn't just like a healthy thing, like, oh, you got to eat summer plants. It was like no, this is what you need to do, like, right now. I didn't understand really that message until the message came in tonight. So people are actually eating and clearing their fields, and things are being cut away so that, you guys aren't distracted. Understand that right now. Because if you have gifts coming in, there will be a sacrifice made in your life. That there will be sacrifices made in your life. I was just asking people this weekend. I'm like, why do I always lose things in September? Like this first week of September, I always have some kind of loss. Like last year, my dad went, home. He transmuted his energy to the beyond. The year before was my husband left me and the kids, but this year specifically, and it's the third year, it's a 3 thing. This year specifically, I'm getting the message that it is because you guys got some gifts coming in, and these things aren't being done to you, they're being done for you. So if you can accept that and trust that, and if this resonates with you at all for what's going through your life, you're being guided to the spot. And there is always a sacrifice for having these types of gifts, but I can only tell you that when you do develop them, you're going to be so much clearer, like in all aspects of your life. You're not going to have to worry so much or stress so much or be stuck in your head trying to think things through or strategize. That's not how life will work for you anymore. There will be a natural flowing to life. Even in the toughest of situations, you'll just be guided to know what is the right thing. When you do learn lessons, it won't be like as painful and devastating as before. You'll be able to see, oh, I probably didn't do the right thing here, and you'll be able to move on. You'll be able to have a lot more empathy for yourself as well as other people's roads and situations. I'm at the point where I can't really see any kind of like really destructive behavior as being like making a terrible person. There's just lessons and actions to me. So I really think that's a gift I'm given, to see people at the soul level and know that, sometimes that their actions and reactions are just, because they're hurting and because they're guarded and because they're fearful. So we're being asked to go ahead, accepting these things that have happened, because we got some stuff coming up. I talked about in the beginning of 2021 how I got, actually it was a dream from my dad about how people were holding their head, and it would just be like a hugely emotional year, and that I was going to be here to help the people that were having, hugely emotional years. And I didn't know if that would like be like, oh, I could pay for counseling for people or something like that, because I wasn't, it wasn't counseling or talking to people at that time. I was just doing, some tarot. I wasn't even good at astrology yet, really. I was just forever student. And I don't know that my words, I'm definitely not a therapist, but I do know that I've had ample ability this year to use my words to assist people and understand what they're going through when it comes to mental struggle. 2021 is really the mental struggle for us all to get to the point where, we really look at these emotions and we really finally deal with these wounds, so that we can finally heal them. And that is not an overnight journey, but it's a lot easier if you know that other people have gone through it, which is why I'm willing to get pretty vulnerable with my own stories, even though I'm pretty shy and an introvert, because I know that unless we start talking about these things and start talking about what everybody's going through, and then, it's just so much harder. And so many people have come, of course, I've been guided to different people on my journey as well, and just little things that they would say, like one thing from one person and one thing from another person would just like resonate in my heart, and I'd be like, oh, that's what's going on, and everyone will piece together their own story. Everything I say will not probably make sense to you, but from what you hear from me, you'll hear something from another earth guide or healer that and you'll hear a thing from another, and your story will beautifully weave in front of you. Your purpose will beautifully fall in front of you. And if you literally ask, like, lead me to my purpose, to your guides or your past over, loved ones or your angels or whatever name you use for the guidance that you can't see in your life, those I can promise you that those things will come forward if you're open and you're asking about it. So that's my guarantee. 2022 has some shakeups in our makeup going on. So we are becoming emotionally strong right now. We're becoming open to the things we can't see around us, because we are really going to need that guidance coming into next year. And I'm not even talking about all the stuff that some people, the collective, is so concerned about right now. It's different things. It's more structure and survival kind of type of things. And I'm not like a scare. I'm not like a gloom or doom person. There will just be situations in our lives that will change drastically next year, just sometimes suddenly, with the earth and, things that we depend on as long-term things, long-term stable institutions, environments, staples in our lives that will switch around. And I can't tell you, what those things will be. All I can tell you is that you will, be prepared for them, because, you're going to have a strong emotional clearing from right now. And when you have that emotional clearing and you open up to your guidance system, things like that are never scary. You're able to take things on a day-to-day basis and do what you need to do at that point. And that's kind of like the training that we're going through right now. We had all the emotional clearing, and now we're going to be led to do things that we can do that's right in front of us on a day-to-day basis, to slowly work towards where we need to be. And I can promise you all that you will be guided to where you need to be. You will go through some emotional clearing. There will be tears. There will be pain, because chances are you've never really mourned those wounds, and you have to look at those wounds. That's what all the emotional turmoil is for. You're having emotional turmoil right now because it echoes back to the wounds that you have from the past. And me just saying that should spark something in you. Look at your situations now and think back to when you had the same type of situations in your childhood, in your adolescence. I can promise you that there's a sameness there that you're being called to look at. And when you're being called to look at it, you're not being called to look at it in a way, that you blame. Because and it may be fair to blame. I'm not discrediting that. Horrible things have happened to us, especially people that, that are gifted in this way. We've had horrible things happen to us. I'm asking you to go into those places and feel those feelings again, and hold those feelings and acknowledge those feelings, and be able to say, yeah, that fucking hurt. Yeah, that was fucking terrible. Yeah, that was a fucking nightmare. And just hold that, hold space for that. And we like to say, hold it like a baby, because you wouldn't let a baby go crying. So there are things in your soul, in your past traumas, that are crying, and they're getting louder right now because, we try and push those things away. We try and say, we're victorious over it, and we are, but also, it's time to look back at those demons and hold a little space for them so we can clear them out. Acknowledge to ourselves how fucking terrible that was. And I don't mean to swear, but some things are fucking terrible. Acknowledge how fucking terrible that these things are and how much they affected you. Really look at that and really mourn those losses and really mourn those hurts and really mourn that pain, so you can feel it and let it go. Because it's then, that your emotional body is being cleared for the job you got coming up. And you're going to feel so much lighter. It's really hard to go back to those places. It's really hard to not just push those feelings away. But my message for you is, this is the work we're doing now. This is why we've had so much rumble and fucking tumble over the last couple weeks it's not just the things from now, it's the things that we haven't dealt with from before. And that's why it's so loud. And if you're an empath, if you've already done your work, you're hearing it, like you're feeling it, and it's been rough. So I encourage you, if you're already, well on your path, to put your message out there too, like help the people that need help. And I guarantee you're doing that, because otherwise you'd have to hold that energy all the time. We'd keep on hurting if we didn't put our messages out. That's how messages are. If I wouldn't have recorded this message tonight, I literally would not be able to think of anything else or concentrate on anything else until I get this energy out of me. You can't just keep on absorbing other people's things and not release them. You can't keep on having all these emotions and not release them. That's when your mental torment gets to the point where you have to release it in some way, and some of the ways aren't the healthiest. I always say that the most sensitive people usually are the ones that drink or use, because they literally have to numb that, and that is just a truth that's in my soul. Because it's hard to go around and walk around absorbing all this all the time, but it's also a gift. So I'm just here tonight to tell you what's been going on a little bit, and if you're led to this message, I feel it's for you. It's a lot of emotions have been swirling around, not just from the people that are on this path. There's a lot of anger in the world in general, because people that aren't even looking at anything besides the material world, their things don't have to do with threes. Their things kind of have to do with twos. Us and them, fighting, just I'm right, you're terribly wrong. And that's a lot to live and maneuver around too. So, I'm sure you've stayed out of those kind of discussions. I think everybody that has any kind of spirituality has seen, themselves be accepting of other people's opinions, and just kind of steer clear of all that right now, because it's just a distraction. So don't be caught in the distractions. Do what you need to do every day on the material level, on the doing your work level. If you need some tips on keeping your energy field clear, or after you've done your healing work, how to keep your energy area clear, I'm going to tell you, you're going to know what's right for you. But I'm also going to give you some hints, and you'll find what works for you. I have Mars in Pisces, so I go into my hot tub, which is, Mars action, water, Pisces, and that's how I clear my energy. I also do a lot of visualizations, where I breathe in through my heart chakra, and I bring the feeling of love and appreciation to me, and that really clears it out. I actually have a video on that, how to breathe through your heart chakra, that would be helpful for you guys. I think it was 2020, before the pandemic hit. I made that video, and that also is super healthy as well, because it actually rewires your brain. It's actually something I picked up from the chronic pain clinic at Mayo Clinic, because I got some nerve issues. And your heart has memory, actually more memory cells than your brain. So if you start to breathe through your heart chakra, you're going to be able to stay out of your head a lot more, which is, of course, really healthy for your nervous system, just to bring your focus out of there and be able to feel what different emotions actually feel like, because we actually have a hard time knowing that. because we're always in our head thinking. So if you can begin to feel what love feels like in your actually own body, you're going to be able to differentiate that from another person's energy, and that's super important work if you're somebody called to have gifts, because you'll just be dealing with energy all the time, and you need to know what your energy feels like as opposed to other people or the collective. So taking baths with salts, of course, carrying around certain rocks, like whatever rocks you're called to, really, I believe, are the rocks for you. Because they probably have specific uses, if you look them up, that will resonate with, oh, well, yeah, of course, this is my past, so this is why I have this certain rock right now. Just otherwise, getting out in nature, of course, going barefoot, anything that just kind of grounds your energy out is amazing. Just listening to music for a lot of people, listening to music that is happy music, positive music. I have a meditation for the theta waves on my channel where you can actually trick your brain into kind of calming down and healing your body on a scientific level. Of course, I use science in that because, I'm a nerd, so I gotta have both. Let me think if there's anything else. Yeah, so you're all going through ascension upgrades. Hurrah! You're going to be asked to do some healing work from some wounds that you haven't dealt with, which is your whole life will change after you look into those places. I promise you that. It's going to be beautiful and amazing. I can't wait to hear you guys' story. And you will naturally be clearing out things, people, situations, your health, your home. You're just going to become a lot lighter. You cannot actually receive messages, or your gifts will not upgrade until, you do purify your spaces. You do purify yourself. That's how the energy gets through. When you make a sacred space of your body and make a sacred space of your home, and even make a sacred space in your mind, and in your heart, that's how you get to receive these messages. So, yeah, it's an amazing thing. So that is essentially, I'm just going to ask if there's anything else I'm forgetting. Oh, yeah. So you know how to do this. I'm told, they know how to do this. Okay, so you know how to do this, and you're actually probably naturally doing this already, and my words are just your confirmation cheerleader. And that's kind of how messages come in. So that's a beautiful thing. I won't be explaining anything that's not already going on in your life to you. I will just be your little star, your little sparkler of confirmation that yes, you were right, this is going on, you suspected it, and here's your confirmation. So that's beautiful. 2022 will be easy for you, and you will have success because you're going through this work now. I say things trepidatiously because most people would flip out, and I don't want to be one of those blah blah blahs, but you are becoming the stability in your life right now, and your stability will ground other people. Literally just being around you after doing this work will calm people down. So you're doing the work of the collective. You're healing the whole population with the work that you're doing right now. You will heal yourself to heal the world. So that is my little cheerleader message for all my little ascension vortex people right now. I've been going through it. I didn't know I'd get a message that everybody's going through it, because I'm just a weirdo and I'm used to this stuff by now. But we got we got a graduating class. Yay. And that's who my message is for. So I'm just so like appreciative that there's more of you out there and that you're going through this right now. I mean, and it's hard. I'm going to acknowledge to you that it's hard and it hurts, but it hurts so that so that your curiosity is, guided to the things you're supposed to be guided to right now. None of us signed up for this not knowing what the work would be. We knew. And the fact that you still came here now, and the fact that you're going through these things right now, you are different and special. And I think the best thing along this journey is that as things start to come together, things that you suspected and you get confirmations on, you really do find a purpose. And how many people in this world actually have a purpose right now? So you're getting to know your purpose. And I mean, that's the most valuable thing. And once you know your purpose, like everything else is easier. Everything doesn't become so hard. You'll do the work when you need to do the work, but you'll have guides along the way. And everything's easier with that. So I love you all. I've probably blabbered on way too long now. But I'm super proud that you've made it here. I'm super proud of you all. Like, I'm just so happy. So if any of this resonates with you, let me know. I will send so much healing, loving prayers for you. And just cheer you all along the way. It's a glorious thing you're doing. Oh, and there's a new moon in Virgo tomorrow. So you're right on time too, astrologically. I love you all. That is the message that I received for you. And don't worry. If y'all came here and my words made sense, you already got this. Things develop in the spiritual and in the ethers before they come down to the material. So this part of your path has already been kind of, it's just grounding out now. The work's actually already been done. That's amazing. All right. Love you guys. Bye.